As we reported with heavy hearts earlier this year, Jonathan Rivera and Fernanda Flores have split. The 90-day fiancé couple were one of this season's most likable, and they really seemed to have made it, until they didn't. Now, both Fernanda and Jonathan are speaking out. Fernanda has shared a couple of vague posts this week. She became silent, Fernanda writes. There is no longer any words to describe the absence of emotion within her heart, she continues. Fernanda adds, she went from arguing to be upset, now feeling nothing at all. Is this poetry or something more autobiographical? And is it both? Fernanda Flores models. Later, Fernanda wrote something a little more universal. Don't judge someone without knowing the whole story, she advises her followers on Instagram. You may think you understand, Fernanda acknowledges. But you don't. None of us ever know the whole story about reality stars, but fans are especially in the dark about Fernanda and John's split. She wasn't a gold digger or after a green card. Jonathan is the first to say that. As far as we know, they had a dispute, in part over where they should live. Fernanda spoke angrily and stormed off, and Jonathan believes that the things she said can never be taken back. These latest words from Fernanda are vague. Last week, Fernanda was a little more direct and arguably a bit more confrontational. I don't want to talk about anything about Jonathan again, Fernanda told her followers on Instagram Live. He's talking a lot, Fernanda acknowledged. He can say whatever he wants. I'm not going to talk about it until I'm ready, she affirmed. Apparently, she is still not ready to address this fresh wound. It hasn't even been a month. That is very understandable. Heartbreak hurts. Fernanda's posts this week were preceded by Jonathan going on Instagram Live to speak to his followers. Every marriage has its problems, he emphasizes. Every relationship has its issues. It's all about your attitude. As long as you're positive. I gotta take it day by day. All of this has happened really fast. I promise you, I didn't give up. I gave 110% to my marriage, he shared. Jonathan concludes by explaining, I reached a point where I said, I have to love myself just as much. Jonathan's latest post is actually a throwback to work that he has done in his community in Lumberton, North Carolina. I created a nutrition program at the Lumberton Children's Clinic, helping to introduce a healthier way of life to the underprivileged youth, he shares. I started the program after realizing the large epidemic of childhood obesity plaguing our community, Jonathan explains. My intention was to raise awareness by boosting the children's self-confidence, he writes. Jonathan aimed to help these kids to improve their eating habits, and experience love in a nurturing environment. These children not only face health issues, but are also scrutinized amongst their peers, he acknowledges. I realized that I was in a fortunate position to give back, he explains. And wanted to do everything in my power to make sure I was doing my part.